So I wanted to share this extremely powerful new concept I've been using, and it basically allows you to float through your opponent's guard using your shin to balance on their torso, which is extremely heavy for them, and allows you to easily pass positions like X guard and can even be used in conjunction with the HQ passing position. In addition, it works extremely well with passing into reverse side control as well as setting up back takes. So we're going to start off by just understanding the concept of balancing with our shin on his hip in the first place, and then we're going to start talking about all the different leg configurations you can use this against. Basic idea, we're going to have a leg trapped. We can get here a lot of different ways, and I want to balance all of my shin weight on his hip here. Once I have this balanced here, I can put my hand up over his head. Sometimes it can be on this side depending on what I'm doing, and I can really balance on my opponent. Now when I'm here, it's actually really hard for him to get me off of him. If he tries to track this leg, it's very easy for me to high step this way or even step inside, and I can drop down to finish the pass. If he starts trying to push me away with both hands and stuff like this, I'm balanced on him. So you can see my whole body weight is on him. So as he keeps pushing me up overhead like this, I'm literally floating on him. Looking at that from another angle, you see I'm literally in the air, and it makes it so easy to do these dramatic back steps. And now, not only that, since I'm already loaded on him, it's very easy for me to start transitioning into these like reverse side control type positions. So a lot of times I'll end up in this reverse side control where I have the arm like this locked up over the head. And from here, it can be very easy to control the legs and easily come up to mount. If he starts to turn too far into me, which will happen very often, and he keeps coming up, I can use this to come up and chase the back. Also, sometimes when I backstep, instead of being inside the arm, I might be over the arm. And when I come through, I end up in a position like this. But again, the big idea is all my weight is loaded on him, and I have his shoulders flat to the mat. So it's very easy to do attack from here, can grab my foot, come up and mount. Sometimes if he's a little bit more fighting when I backstep, I might come into more of a north-south scramble and try to dig in from here as well. I've done videos a lot talking about the concept of digging in there. I'll put a link in the description. I should also mention, I'm gonna do an entire video on this concept of reverse side control variations really soon. Leave a comment in the description if you guys would like to see that. But I think it's a really commonly overlooked passing position to understand because so many guard passes won't end up in side control or north-south, but you'll have to end up in these kind of backstep positions. So foundational control here will help a lot. So let's start by looking at this from the single leg X, and then we'll talk a little bit more about preemption from even letting them get there in the first place. So if his foot starts on my hip and I'm in a single leg X like this, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have push my hip forward and push this foot off. But what a lot of people do here is once they push this off, they focus on going for a big back step. And I can do that, but what I do instead is once I push this foot off the hip, I focus on dropping to the shin first. And the main reason I do this is the back step now is gonna be much easier. And now, even if he starts pushing on me and stuff here, I'm literally balanced on him. The back step hits really smooth and I'm already in the passing position. Also, once I clear this and drop to the floor, I wanna put my hand on the floor. Sometimes I can put both hands here. Sometimes it'll be one over here. I can do different things. But when I'm in this position, if he starts pushing on me here, again, this leg allows you to ride so easily, right? When you try to stay up and you try to backstep, sometimes they clip your leg, whatever, and then the foot can come back to the hip because you haven't locked it out of position. But when I get this in this kind of turned position like this, it becomes extremely difficult for him. Another point to understand here is sometimes they're gonna have a grip on this pant leg. Now, that can happen because I'm in single leg X like this, and I push this guy off and I drop, and he already had it in the first place, or maybe he gets it after the fact. But again, if he has that, I can't backstep as easily, but because I have the balance, it's very hard for him to move. So he starts trying to push me around, starts trying to get to full X and all these things, and it's very hard. Notice how I can use the hands on the floor, and I can do this because I have so much balance on him. From here, there's different options I can do. One I really like is if I can dig an underhook here, I can actually turn this all the way into a knee cut pass. He's pushing me around and I can't go for the back step, as very often you can catch this underhook here. And now because the shin is already across the torso, it's easy to skip over and come through into a guard pass. A couple of other options here is once I'm balanced here like this, if I get a little bit stuck, I can't go for the knee cut, is you can just mess with this hand and try to rip this grip off. You can't always do it, but it's worth trying. And if I clear that, I can always go back to this leg. And again, as he starts trying to push me around and whatever, it becomes very easy to high step over and come into the passing position. Another way you can deal with this is even if he has the pant leg, and even if this guy is here, I can push this and try to clear my foot back in like this. And now that hook no longer does anything, and it's easy to slowly break out of the position and again go here. Sometimes if this guy is like this, I can even go all the way through and turn this into an omoplata or a triangle choke, or if he grabs his pant leg,
I can even break this and go for an arm bar. So one of the most powerful aspects of this is not just when you're in single leg X already, but the preemption of stopping the position in the first place. So especially when someone sets a shin on shin. So let's say I'm approaching the guard, maybe I'm in Dela Riva and they set this shin on shin either from Dela Riva or for like a single leg guard. A lot of people start panicking here and trying to get rid of this, and that allows the guy to work his way in. What I often do here is once they set the shin and shin, I don't panic. I can do the lapel. I like the cross lapel a lot because I can push him. And now I'm just kind of patient and I know he's going to try to kick through. So as he tries to kick through to go to single leg X, I'm waiting for that to sit down. You see, if you know this is coming, it's so easy to do, right? I can be approaching the guard like this, right? I can even kind of bait the shin on shin like this. And now as he tries to slowly kick all the way through, like that, kick all the way through, like, yeah, boom. You drop into that position there, right? You can use this very intuitively. Like if I was in like Dela Riva and he had like a spider hook here like this, and he's going to low guard and he starts looping that guy in, you see I'm focused on dropping first. The back step is secondary. Now sometimes you do it and you know it's a good position, so you back step quick so it looks like an automatic back step. But once you get this, everything else becomes really easy. Anytime you feel like the guy's gonna get under, another common one is like if I'm in Dela Riva here like this, the guy loops this leg over and then starts to go inside here, right? From Dela Riva because they wanna go underneath the single leg X. So I let him start going all the way through and I quickly capture that position. Again, I have both hands on the floor, I can back step, maybe he holds my pant leg here with his hand here, like this. He starts trying to elevate me really hard, but again, I can float on him very naturally. I start digging an underhook, slide through, knee cut. You can really improvise well. So one of the most common things that people will try to do from here is they're going to be trying to underhook to loop this all the way up to get you into full X guard. Now the thing is, if I drop early and he tries to go all the way through this and I drop here, my foot, if you can see it here, is really tight to him and I'm really turned to the side. So as he tries to start scooping the underhook on that, even if he gets this, I'll let him get his hand in and start trying to peel it up. It's very hard here. My foot is so tucked. And a lot of times while he's messing with that, he's gonna give the back step. He's gonna start giving other options. In the case that he can actually scoop this all the way up, I'm gonna change my stance. This turns more into X guard passing. And usually from here, he's gonna be trying to bring this hook in somewhere like this. So I wanna turn my upper body to face more towards the side of my leg. I don't wanna be out here because I get stretched out. Now at this angle, I can kind of press on this leg. So if he starts pushing me out this way, like this, I can really balance and start going around. I can do a full video on the X guard passing at some point. If you guys want to see that, leave a comment. But we're going to focus more on this kind of hip ride position for now. All right, so now we're going to start talking about how we can use this in Dela Riva, which is a bit more unorthodox. So a lot of times we'll be in Dela Riva and we'll trap in HQ, and honestly I could do this even if he didn't have the ankle for Dela Riva. It's just I have this leg trapped. And very often people will do something like this, where he's trying to prevent a knee cut, so he turns this way a lot. So sometimes here I'll balance on my lapel. I've done videos on this system before, but when he's turned this way, it's very easy to shoot my shin in to this position. So once I put my shin in this position, again, it's the same idea. If he starts pushing me around, pushing on my armpit and all, I have a lot of balance here and I'm riding on him, right? Now the finishes can be a bit different. Of course, I can always come down and try to strip this. And then I have the long back step or the inside back step. But if he keeps the ankle here and you can't strip it for some reason, I can also use this to kind of slide my leg above. And now I can go back into a quarter mount position like this. And I can go for mount, collar chokes, back into knee cuts, and things like that. Another way I can use this is just that because I'm doing this, he'll often try to open back out towards me with his knee like this, and I can use this to come back in for a knee cut. Because when I'm in this HQ position, I'm trying to usually balance either the folder or the knee cut. So if we're here and this is more centered, I can go for a knee cut, right? If he stays really far here, I can folder. But sometimes this can be kind of annoying because he oscillates between the two. So by having this lapel and setting this guy in here, it gives you so many more options, right? Again, I can just clear there to go to mount. I can strip this guy, or I can use this to come back up and start going in for knee cut passes. A couple of extra points I wanted to mention. In this video, I focused a lot on the concept of putting your hands on the floor and how you can balance in that position. But you can also use this system really well with a high posture
often when you're doing the knee cut passes, but also in different forms of leg entanglement passing positions. I'll probably do a video more in depth on this concept in the future as well. So now I'm going to include a lot of sparring footage so you guys can use this as a reference to study the positions in action. But if you guys enjoy my content a lot, the best way you guys can help support the channel is to go down and leave a comment right now. You can leave a comment and let me know what you thought of this video, or if you guys have questions regarding the technique or requests for future videos, it'll be greatly appreciated. Hope you guys enjoy the sparring.